with your award-winning host, Dale Davidson. Dale interviews fascinating guests, from top-ranked celebrities to people just like you who have an important story to tell. For more than 15 years, Dale is broadcast every week from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip. He finds the people who really make Las Vegas a one-of-a-kind city and lets the world know just what's happening in this remarkable town. You'll discover why 50 million people visit the entertainment capital of the world every year. Stay tuned for another exciting episode of Las Vegas Tonight.
Hi, I'm Dale Davidson, your host on Las Vegas Tonight. Each and every episode we do our best to bring you fascinating guests. And boy, have we outdone ourselves this time. Our very, very special guest is Marilyn Faye Oleary. She's a singer. She's Ms. Senior Nevada. She is a former gold digger on the Dean Martin Show, and just a terrific lady all the way around. Marilyn, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Let's start right with that. I am so excited that I have a gold digger in my studio.
Oh my goodness.
I had such a crush on you then. I didn't know you, but I did.
It's such an honor.
Lovely, lovely ladies.
Thank you.
Tell us, first of all, how'd you get the gig?
It all started when I heard about it in the newspaper.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was working as a receptionist, and my boss said, Marilyn, do you have to do this? And I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, you know, I'm going to lose you. And I thought, I wonder what he means. Oh, well. So
Yes.
I went out. It was in Patrick Swayze's mother's home dance studio. You know, Patrick was a great dancer.
Oh, yes, he was.
And so there were 3 members from the Dean Martin Show there judging, and about 400 girls showed up.
This was in Houston,
This
right?
is in Houston,
Okay.
Northwest Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So off I went, and I sang "Didn't We" by Jim Webb.
Oh,
Beautiful ballad.
Sing a little bit of that.
It went, this time we almost made the pieces fit, didn't we?
Oh, thank you.
And they loved
Graced
it.
us with a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And,
So what happened at the interview?
well, we had to dance. After
Okay.
we sang, we had to dance. And so we danced to Celebration, come on. Anyway, it was fun. And so 5 of us were chosen. And judges said, well, everybody can leave except these 5 girls. And so they said, we'll let you know by phone.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well,
They wanted to
there
discuss
goes nothing.
you. Yeah.
There goes nothing. But, you know, I was hoping against hope that I would be chosen. I had seen the Dean Martin Show several times. My mother would always say, Marilyn, the girls are on Dean Martin. Come watch. I'm like, Mother, please. You know, I was, 18, 19?
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, my gosh, I know that girl. That's Susie Lund. And this was a girl that had graduated a year ahead of me, Westbury High School.
Oh, really?
And I thought, boy, if she can do it, I can do it.
There you go.
And so sure enough, the phone rang. About a week later, they said, this is Burbank Studio. This is a Dean Martin Show. We want you to fly out here and have a camera audition. Let's see what the camera thinks of you.
Wow.
And I said, wonderful. My mother said, can I go? And I said, well, sure.
Why not?
So-
Moms get to go.
Oh, yeah. So there I was in Burbank at NBC in front of the cameras in a very skimpy, if I do say so, little leotard. But I was 19 years old, and I weighed about, I don't know, 110, something
You were like this.
And and so they made me turn different ways and smile. And so Greg Garrison came up and he said, well, the camera loves you.
Oh.
Would you like to be a gold digger? And I said, absolutely. And that was it.
And that was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then within 2 weeks, I think this was October, late October, I flew out, and the next thing I knew is we went straight into Johnny Carson's studio.
Really?
And we started rehearsing for the Bob Hope Christmas tour of 1970.
Really?
And I was like,
What an honor.
I've heard about this, but I really didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
And right there in Johnny Carson's studio.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
that's where the Dean Martin Show was filmed. And so we had rehearsals, and I had the honor and pleasure of meeting and speaking with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh,
Getting to know Jimmy Stewart.
What
And
an
then-
icon, huh?
Yeah, then we filmed
Yeah.
right next door to Laugh In with
Yes.
Dom DeLuise. Well, he was with our show at the
Oh,
time.
sure.
With Ruth Buzzy and Goldie Hawn.
Oh.
my goodness.
What
That
great
was
times.
So exciting. And so shortly thereafter, we were putting our show together to go with Bob Hope.
Yeah, to go to Vietnam,
We
right?
went around the world in 11
Wow.
days.
Oh my gosh.
We went to...
These are famous. These tours were famous.
Oh, yes, yes.
All for the soldiers, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Tell us what you did, and I want to hear about the whistles and the cat calls when you came out.
Well, you know, we had Ursula Andress with us, and we had Jennifer Hostin, Miss World. And of course, when we came out, there was the Dingling Sisters, which was an offshoot group of the Gold Diggers.
Oh, okay.
Former Gold Diggers. And they would come out and do the funky chicken. And we do things like, look at me, I'm something special. And you know, and with Bob, we just mess around and cat around with Bob. And one time, at one point, he had received a beautiful plaque. I should have brought it, but anyway, it was for the cast.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and I was standing right next to him, and I was showing him how to do some steps, you know. And he looked at me, and he said, "Here, Marilyn, you speak to them. You tell them. You accept this." And I went,
just like
okay,
that. Just
okay.
like that. Wow.
And so I stepped to the microphone, and I made an acceptance speech. And they just went
Wow.
wild. This is Bob Hope. This is the kind of thing he did.
Yeah, yeah. You had to be on your toes.
You sure did.
You had to be ready.
All the time.
Yeah. Now, what was he like personally? I mean, he was a comedic icon, #1 comedian in the United States for years and years and years. But what was he like behind the scenes?
Well, he was shy. He was kind of like Dean Martin. Dean Martin was extremely shy.
Wow.
I never got to really know him. We were always rehearsing or touring or something.
I never
But
would have
with
guessed
Bob,
that about either one of them.
He's very quiet. He's very quiet. But once you get to know him, I've been in his home.
Oh, really?
I have seen, he showed me, he opened a door, he said, "You see all those files?" I said, "Uh-huh." He said, "That's my life. Those are filled with jokes."
Oh, yeah.
And I said,
file cabinets.
"Wow."
Yeah, he had file
Just
cabinets.
for as far as you could see.
By subject. Yeah.
And I said, "Gosh, Bob, this is incredible."
He worked hard.
Yeah. And he was very appreciative of all the attention that he got because, well, first of all, I guess I was so young, I just didn't realize that we were really in harm's way. That our lives were...
When you were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have...
An attractive target.
That's right. We could have been easily blown up. We were in Chinooks.
Oh, wow.
And so when I kind of got an idea of how dangerous it was, because we didn't know where we were going from one moment to the next.
Yes.
It was all
You would
top
hopscotch
secret.
around the country.
Yeah, it was all top secret.
Yeah.
And so when we were in Long Binh, I said, "Bob, do you think maybe I could ride with you in your helicopter?" He said, "Sure, come on." You know. Why? Because they had like 6 machine guns on this particular helicopter, and I think we had 2 on ours.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel much better now.
Yeah. Oh, how
It was
exciting.
wonderful. Yeah, we had a great time.
And when you left Vietnam, didn't you stop somewhere else?
Oh,
Did I
we
read?
went everywhere. We went, originally our first stop was West Point, New York,
Oh, okay.
out of Burbank.
At the-
And we took off in a C-140.
Yes.
If you don't know what that is, go to Google and type it in because you hold on like this.
Yes.
You're holding on to nets behind you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it was really
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Huge plane.
And so West Point, and then we went to Lakenheath, England. We were in Frankfurt, Germany.
Wow.
We were in Osan, Korea.
Wow.
Just made the loop, and we wound up. Our last stop was Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay. Where they were
Cold.
lonely. Those
yeah.
soldiers were lonely.
Yeah, and the
Air
snow
Force,
drifts
Air
were about
Force,
12
airmen.
feet. The snow drifts were like 12 feet
Yeah.
high. It was just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that much snow in my
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah, I had a friend who was stationed with the Air Force in Anchorage years ago.
Okay,
And he said, as a sort of a little practical joke, he opened the window, said it was cold and freezing out there, and he called his guys upstairs, his pals, and they all came up, and he said, "I can't take this anymore. I'm killing myself." He was on the second story,
Oh my
and he
goodness.
went dove out the window, and he was like down about that far. That's where the snowdrift was.
The snowdrifts were huge. Oh my golly, it was really something. Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were so well taken care of. I mean, the pilots that flew those C-140s. You know, and then we were also traveling with Les Brown and his band of renown.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Famous orchestra.
I have a picture of me sitting in his lap.
Famous orchestra.
Yeah.
Did you get to sing with them at all?
Oh, sure. Well, they were our accompaniment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How wonderful.
Yeah. When we did Aquarius and all these cute little songs, you know, for the teens and for the guys, you know, we had, they were like fringed bikinis. That's what we were wearing in Osan, Korea when it's 30 some odd degrees, 32 degrees. And it was, oh my gosh. We had
the show must go on.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Tell us about Burbank and the studios at NBC. A lot of our viewers have never been there, never gotten the tour, but so many great television shows have emanated from those studios. Tell us a little about what that was like, and were you in awe when you walked in?
Well, yeah, you walk in and they're cavernous. They're huge because they have the sets, you know, to deal with,
way tall.
And the lighting, and then they have rows and rows of chairs for audiences.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, the Johnny Carson studio was probably one of the largest ones.
Was it? Yeah,
I think it seated about 300 people.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Good size for a studio.
Right,
yeah.
right. And it was just cavernous, and they always kept it really cold in there. I knew that. But there were different shows filming at different times, like Life In filmed right next door to us.
Oh, okay.
We were all on
great show,
on very very schedules, and then downstairs below was the huge rehearsal hall, and that's where I met Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, how wonderful!
He was sitting at the piano.
Yes.
And Lee Hale came down, and I thought, oh, it's time for us to sing. And Jimmy said, oh, well, I guess I better leave. And I said, no, Mr. Stewart, you stay right where you are.
You can be
You're
wherever
fine.
you want to be.
Absolutely. Please don't go.
What a nice
He said,
guy.
well, okay, I'll stay and I'll listen.
Just a Pennsylvania boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just divine, really.
Nice.
But it was, I didn't really get to see a whole lot of the studio. The parking was in the back for the stars and the performers. But they were cavernous. They were huge.
Yeah.
And
they're still there and still producing
they are still
shows.
There. That's right.
Yeah. Let's skip over to the other coast, to the East Coast. You've been on Broadway.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience. What was that like?
Golly. Well, that was the national tour of Showboat with Donald O'Connor.
Oh, yeah. How wonderful.
That's another buddy that I made. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. We toured the United States for 9 months. It was an equity tour, so the pay was really, really good.
You were really glad you got cast.
Yes.
Were you singing? You were singing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was an understudy.
Okay.
And also a swing, which meant I had to learn all the major parts.
Okay.
So step in anytime someone was ill or didn't show up, it was my turn.
Yes.
Yeah. And Donald looked at me and said, I don't know how in the world you do that.
Yeah, how do you?
I said, it's not easy.
That's a lot of variety.
Oh, yeah. You have to keep everybody's information and lines straight.
Oh, yeah.
But we played in the most beautiful theaters, and we had such a glorious orchestra. We had about 40 pieces that would play with us. Conducted by John DeMaine, was who I sang for with the Houston Grand Opera. He's the one that really hired me.
Oh, okay.
And then I met on tour Jack Everly. And do you know who Jack Everly is?
Don't.
He is now the conductor of the National Symphony in Washington, D.C.
Really?
He took over the conductor, the previous conductor, who was there for years. Yeah. So Jack Everly is now doing that, and I'm so proud of him. So proud of him.
Now, it was a different experience stage-wise, wasn't it?
Oh, very much
Broadway
so.
than it was from the television. Tell us what it was like to have an audience versus not having an audience. Start with that.
Yeah, with the Dean Martin show, we actually did have an audience, but
is that right?
But it was taping and so forth, and you could stop and start. Not so much with Broadway. You can't do that. You better know what's going on. You better know your place on stage, and you better know which way to go when you exit. We had such a great time. Donald was wonderful. He was just amazing.
Oh, that's such a great story.
Yeah,
Such a great story.
he was always extremely kind to everyone.
Really?
Absolutely. Gloria traveled with him.
Oh, I
his
didn't know that.
wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, and the smart ones did that.
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
Yeah, they really do.
He finally quit smoking and started taking care of himself.
Oh, good.
And the tour was a huge success.
Oh, wow.
All over the country.
What a wonderful
we just played
experience.
to full houses, standing ovations that just went on and on and on.
Wow.
I sure miss him.
Yes.
I miss Bob too.
Yes, I'll bet you do.
And
we need to
Dean.
take a brief break, Marilyn.
Okay.
And we're going to come back, and I am going to ask you about the feather shows in Vegas.
Oh, of course.
Because
yes.
she was in them.
Yes,
Stick
I
around.
was.
We'll be here with Marilyn in just a couple of minutes. Hi, I'm Dale Davidson, host of Las Vegas Tonight. You know, radio has an enduring place in the heart of America. Sometimes it's music that can enliven your spirit or keep you company when you need some. More often for me, it's just been the right spoken word or two that can quiet my mind and soul. Radio brings me a reassuring word in the quiet of night or a welcoming voice early in the morning as I shake off the night's sleep and find my way into God's purpose for my day. And always, I find the best radio station is the one that brings me the best news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. My favorite radio station is KKVV in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's still right where it's been for years, at 1060 on the AM dial, hovering over Sin City like a gospel airship, broadcasting the good news of the abounding love that Jesus Christ has for every single one of us. No matter who you are or where you live, you can receive God's Word via the KKVV Gospel Airship. Just go to kkvv.com and click on Listen Live. KKVV is using all the tools that God's provided them, like podcasting and video streaming and video on demand, to produce programs that lift up our fellow believers and save the lost. If you feel a calling to speak to others about Jesus Christ on your very own show, pick up the phone and call the station. They'll be happy to tell you how. Call KKVV today at 702-731-5588 or drop them an email at kkvvradio@hotmail.com. Please join me in becoming part of the KKVV family. You'll be glad you did.
Alpha and Omega. You have no beginning, you have no end. Before the foundation of the world, you chose me, adopted as your child through your Son, Jesus Christ. I deserved death, yet you showed me grace. I deserve your wrath, yet you demonstrate love. My God, this whole world may fail, but you remain the same. The love of an everlasting God is my firm foundation. Whom shall I fear? Everything here on earth will fade away, but your promises will never. The love of an everlasting God is my hope. No one can take it away. I am yours, my Lord. You chose me, my everlasting God.
Boy, am I pleased to have Marilyn Faye Oleary with us today. She is such a great guest. If you missed the first segment, rewind and watch it, will you? A lot of people watch us on tape, which is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the feather shows. I promised we'd talk about that. You were in a couple of the spectacular shows here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
A couple of Don Arden shows, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me about him. Tell me about the shows.
Well, the shows were magnificent, and the costumes were out of this world. The auditions were really terrifying. And Don Arden was very, very difficult to work with.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. Yeah.
He was a perfectionist, and so that's what he expected.
Yeah.
And the show indeed was perfection.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. There were probably about 125 people in the show.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Is this Hallelujah Hollywood?
Hallelujah Hollywood.
Right, okay.
The other one was in Reno, was Hello Hollywood Hello.
Okay.
And so I had to audition as sing and dance.
Wow.
And you had to be able to do both extremely well. And fortunately for me, timing is everything. I came in just at the right time.
Really?
You had to be a certain look, a certain size, have a certain demeanor.
Right.
And,
height?
Yeah, height,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were very firm.
minimum 5'7", and I am 5'7" in flat feet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you put two-inch heels on, and I'm
You're tall enough.
tall enough, yeah.
Yeah.
In my case, I was a singer.
Okay.
I was hired to sing.
Yeah.
And my costumes were gorgeous. And as my mother said, "You are dressed, aren't you?" And I said, "Mother, yeah, of course."
She was worried.
Of course I'm dressed. Yes, I was fully clothed.
That's
as
nice.
the dancing nudes were not.
Yeah, there were some that weren't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was topless always.
Yeah,
And even the guys had had the least amount of clothes on, really.
Really?
For a lot of the numbers. But
Yeah.
no, I love that show with all my heart. It was so beautiful. I got to come down the golden staircase.
Oh, my Lord, I
Singing
remember
with my
that.
tenor, singing "I'll See You Again" and "Wanting You." These are songs from beautiful operettas that were written back in the 30s
Yes.
and 40s, and very not well known, unfortunately.
And they wanted
because they're
somebody
so beautiful.
operatically trained.
That's right.
So that's when you rehearsed. That was it, right?
That's right.
Oh, okay, okay.
And one of the numbers,
audition.
one of the numbers that I was in was Helen Morgan.
Oh,
Was
okay.
Helen Morgan and singing "Can't Help Loving That Man."
Oh, yeah, that's a great song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And then there was, oh my goodness, there was Scheherazade and "Oh You Beautiful Doll." We had great big head pieces. You know, the girls, the dancing nudes and the showgirls had to wear headpieces that weighed between 30 and 40 pounds.
I've seen those things, and they must have really gotten to their necks. I would
Yeah,
think.
these days I'm still friends with a lot of the girls, and they have serious problems with their back and neck due to that. But we had a couple of headdresses that were good sized also, but not to the degree that they were. Oh my golly!
You were lucky. You had the
Yes.
singing talent.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, but we really worked hard in that show. I had
bet
to
you
dance
did.
as well. We had one of the moments in the show was called the pirate. So we had to sing and do the pirate dancing, and
Wow.
it was and then New York, you sang and you danced. You
Sure.
really danced full out. Mm-hmm. So I remember rehearsing.
wonderful.
Golly, when they'd bring me in after the show at 2:00 in the morning or 1:00 in the morning, and I
Wow.
would rehearse with our dance captain until 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
nonstop. Every number. Had to be
Wow.
memorized. Not only the vocals, but the footwork as well.
Did you still have to do that after you had it down?
A rehearse, no.
No, you were done.
Once I went out on stage and performed,
Okay.
I
They were
was-
satisfied that
I was, yeah.
you
I
knew your
was done.
stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
It's a lot harder work than people think.
They have no idea. People have no idea. Let me just tell you.
Yes, let me be a star, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I know office work is grueling, but I have to tell you what, with this kind of thing, and you have perfection in the front of your mind,
Oh, yeah.
you have to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
You really have to get it right.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I mean, they make some allowances, but not many. So
Now, another
you better
show-
be on your game.
I'll bet. Another show I really enjoyed was Jubilee. Were you in Jubilee as well?
We were 2 weeks from opening night, and Don Arden was working us to the bone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. 2 weeks from opening night, the hotel fire destroyed the hotel, our contracts,
no.
and we were all out of work.
Yeah.
I had
The
no
old
job.
MGM Grand.
That's when it came down and went back up as Bally's.
Yes, yes.
And so at that point, I just felt like, well, I had to go to work at the Boulevard Mall, Diamonds department store in order to pay my rent.
Sure, sure.
So, my only objective was, my mother, come home, sweetheart, come home. No, it's
Moms always want you to
I don't
come
want
home.
to come home.
Yeah.
I loved Las Vegas, but it was all different then.
Yes.
Liberace was the rage.
Oh,
I got
yes.
to meet him too.
Oh, did you?
Oh, I
tell us
sure
about
did.
Liberace.
Well,
What was he like?
I had little male Maltese, and he had 7 Maltese, and I
Oh,
said,
okay.
we have to get
Little
together.
bitty dogs.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
white ones. Yeah.
yeah.
And he was just sweet and a lot of fun. I got to see a show at the Hilton.
At the Hilton. Okay.
We were right down front. It
Wow.
was marvelous. But
Yeah.
that was his heyday.
Yes. Yes.
And
Talk about-
Siegfried and Roy, they were
Oh,
right
yeah.
on top.
Did you get to meet them as well?
Not personally.
Yeah.
I heard about the show.
I've seen the show.
But
yeah,
when you do
yeah.
2 shows a night and 3 on Saturday, it's kind of rough. You just kind of want to go home and stare at the TV.
I'll
you know?
bet. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
get to see many shows because we were worked hard.
Yeah, yeah.
we were pretty
Now,
driven.
afterwards, there was a time in the 70s where there seemed to be a Christian revival in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard quite a bit about it where on the night they were dark, which is usually Monday, right? Monday nights they
Yes.
were dark.
Yeah.
There would be Bible studies across the city, and often they were performers or backstage. There were a couple of chaplains that went from show to show because there were Christians, which probably surprises you, but we have them here.
That's right.
So tell us about that. Did you see any of that revival in the 70s here? Was it a Christian town, would you say?
Well, the people that I came in contact were wonderful people, and I just kind of assumed that they were Christians.
Yeah.
With the show being as long as it was,
Yeah.
going to church on Sundays, we had 2 shows on Sundays. We had matinees on Sundays, so that was out of the question.
Yes, yes.
But I would watch TV
Right.
and watch the religious shows, and
Right.
I kept up.
Yeah.
I was born into the Methodist Church, christened.
Me too. Yeah.
Were you really?
I was a Methodist,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, christened as a Methodist, and then Billy Graham came to Houston when I was 14, and I gave my life to the Lord when he asked everyone
At a
to come down
crusade.
at a crusade. I
Wow.
did.
How many people have done that? Isn't
Yeah.
that such
And
a
I was
great
only
story?
14 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
God
Catherine
bless you.
Coleman came to Houston.
Oh, wow.
And my mother, she had sinus problems really bad. Her nose would get really sore. She said, "Come on, let's go see Catherine Coleman." And I said, "Well, okay." I guess I was about 16 then.
Yeah.
And sure enough, my mother received a healing.
Did she really?
Absolutely. And we sang in the choir. They
Catherine
had a
Coleman
huge
was
choir.
famous for
Oh, yeah.
for healing.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And they had a huge choir that sang the most beautiful gospel songs, and we always sang in the choir.
Oh yeah.
So-
And the Billy Graham Crusade, it was always that huge choir singing "Just as I Am."
Oh, yes.
And that's when you came down.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
since that time, you've walked with Jesus.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me what that means to you. How does it help you day to day? And interestingly enough, I want to ask you more about how you integrated it in your career.
Okay.
Because you were certainly surrounded by a mixture of people, not all of whom are
That's right.
Christians. So tell us a little bit. Grab a question out of all those I asked you, and tell us what you think. Yeah.
Well, as I moved into show business, I was always alone. I had a little puppy dog with me.
Right. You were single.
I was
Yeah.
single. And I maintained my career until I was about 35 years old.
Oh,
and
that's
I got
good.
married. But every opportunity that I had to go to church, I took it.
Right.
I always was very prayerful about things, asking the good Lord to guide me
Oh, yeah.
and to guide my footsteps and to be with me, to look
Yes.
down on me, and to take care of me. Being alone, can be really frightening.
Not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
And then as my career kind of took a turn in my late 20s, I became very much involved in learning about Christ and learning more
okay.
about the church.
Yes.
Yeah, and as time went on, and I decided it was time to get married in my 30s, I just said, dear Lord, bring me the right person. And first time around with my first husband, it was good for a while. But then
I have
he
one of those
didn't-
too.
But he wouldn't
Yeah.
he wouldn't go to church with me.
Really?
He just wouldn't. And I just
Yeah.
said, this is not working. And so
Yeah.
10 years later, then I met my soulmate,
Yeah.
Ken Baker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Lord has, you can't really plan, you can plan your life, but you have to be aware of the fact that you're going to be guided. And the
Yes.
way that there were many incidences, things that happened to me early on that I knew that there was truly a God.
Really?
There are angels walking among us.
Yes.
You must believe and understand that it's true.
Did you have a
It's
close
very
call?
true. I've
or-
had several.
Tell us about one.
Yeah, one was one night I was going to choir practice in Houston. The fog was horrible, but I was
Yeah.
determined to go. So I came down the street, and all of a sudden, I didn't know where I was. I couldn't see anything, and so I decided to make a U-turn and go back home. It was frightening, and I turned into a ditch that was half filled with water.
Oh, no.
And I just said, dear God, here I am.
Get
Help
me outta
me.
here.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I really did. The car was head down,
Wow.
headlights in the water. And I got out and I just stood there and I just looked around. I said, well, I'm in your hands. What do I do now? Well, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this light going round and round, this orange light. And I
Really?
thought, what on earth? What is this? And as he got closer, it was a wrecker. It was a wrecker. It was a black man driving a wrecker. He got out and he came up to me and says, young lady, what have you done? I said, I wasn't on purpose. It was an accident. I couldn't see anything. He said, tell you what. He said, I'm gonna tow you. I'm gonna tow you back wherever you want to go. I said, I need to go home. He backed that car out and he towed that. I got in the cab. Now I didn't know who this was. No idea. I was just saying,
That had to be
dear,
kinda scary,
dear
but-
Lord, yeah,
Yeah.
take care of me.
He was an angel, I think.
The rest of it is this. We got home. He unhooked the car in the driveway. I said, wait right here. I have to go check with my mother. I'm going to get you some money. I'm going to pay you. He said, that's not necessary. I said, yes, it's very necessary. I said, don't go away. And I ran in the house as quickly as I could. I said, Mother, I need $30. Give me $30. Give me what you got. I need some money. And I ran back out with the money in my hand. He was gone.
Your car was sitting there.
Yeah. He was
Wow.
gone. He was gone.
Yeah, he would not have had time to do that. Unhook it, pull around, do all of that. So he just disappeared.
That was an angel. That was truly.
Yeah.
There are angels among us.
That's a great story.
Oh,
And
and-
people need to know that, because
You need to
they-
trust.
Yeah.
You need to trust in this because it's very real. Very real.
And what was different when you were in your late 20s? You said in your late 20s you really kind of delved into what Christianity
Well, I was
is
thinking
about.
more about having. I wanted a child.
About marriage.
Yeah. I wanted to get married and have a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just, asking the Lord to guide me, to take
Yeah.
care of me and show me who He thought would be right. We
Well-
almost made it the first time, but I just felt like, look, if you can't share my thoughts about religion, which is the end
Yeah.
game, that's it. Once you close your eyes, you better be ready to go.
Yeah.
And I said, if you can't share this with me, then We just don't. We just
It's
can't.
so important.
Very. And he wasn't spiritual. Ken
Yeah.
Baker's very spiritual, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, Christianity has a phrase for that, being unequally yoked. And that is true. You cannot pull together, that cart of life, if you're unequally yoked. And it's so important for that to be. And I think young women and men need to always keep that in mind,
Absolutely.
And here's another thing. Don't say to yourself, I'll change him.
It does not work. Mark my word, it does not. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, it never works.
Previews might be a little different from the reality, but however, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And plus, my son, when I was pregnant with him, I was actually pregnant with twins.
Oh.
I have twin brothers, and they both passed on now. But it was my generation to have twins.
Oh, wow.
So Patrick was born, and he was born with a very high bilirubin, and it caused minuscule. Well, I say minuscule. At the time, it wasn't minuscule. It caused some brain damage.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And that really got my attention. And so we got him into therapy, and I worked diligently with him. And again, those angels, I'm telling you,
Yes.
he came full circle. He didn't talk or walk until he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
So we used sign language, and I got him into the right therapeutic program.
That's great.
Yes, and I worked with him beyond that.
Yes.
I just took what they gave him and went further with it, and it's paid off in spades. He's just a beautiful child. He speaks eloquently now, and he was 5 years behind in the mental end of it.
Yeah.
And we mainstreamed him in school.
Good for you.
All through school.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
That was
And
early
just
for that.
prayed like crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he lives on the East Coast now, you said?
Yeah, temporarily, yeah. He's northern Baltimore, Hagerstown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a videographer.
Temporarily. He's coming here.
He does what we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's coming
Yeah.
here.
Is he going to move here?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that'll be
Just
great.
a few months.
It's just, to have him around.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
he's
a
my
nice
boy.
story that is. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
You bet.
Yeah. But you lost the other child.
There was the doctor said, Marilyn, I'm telling you, there was a bag, there was no child, there was nothing there.
Nothing in it.
Nothing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Patrick was 9 pounds, 8.5 ounces. So he
got the extra.
Yeah, he sure did. He was a good eater, that's for sure. That child was never hungry.
Yeah.
He was the best, easiest baby in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my,
Yeah.
he never cried. He always laughed and smiled.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So, and I had prayed about my 7th month, dear Lord, please hear my prayer. This has to be one baby. It just has to be one.
Yes.
Sure enough.
There you go.
One big one.
He heard your prayers.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Patrick he was something. I'll tell you, 9 pounds, 8.5 ounces,
Wow.
24 inches long. Yeah, it's a whopper.
And he's Patrick Oleary.
Patrick Sterling. Hull is his last name. Patrick Sterling Hull.
I have a Michael Patrick myself. One of my sons is Michael Patrick.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great.
And
Patrick Sterling
Oh, okay. Patrick Sterling.
Hull. Yes.
Very nice.
And his company's name is Sterling Productions.
Oh, really? Wow. How nice.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
so
very
proud.
nice. Oh, yeah. Marilyn, we need to take a really brief break.
Okay.
We'll be back with
Absolutely.
Marilyn, our new best friend, right after this.
You are unique, complex, beautiful, valuable. I made you different, Out of 7,787,200,861 people on planet Earth right now, no one is the same as you. I created you. I gave you breath. I formed your being. And each day I give you life. And I love you. But a divide came between us. And you turned your back and went your own way. You tried life without me, and it's slowly killing you. You know there's more. Again and again you try to find it, sipping from the empty cup of sin, but nothing quenches the deep down thirst. But this is not your story. I made you for more, for life with me, in full bloom. So I came to earth to live as you do. I felt your fragility, the problem of pain, the tearing of temptation, but I did not give in. And even though I authored life itself, I chose death. I took your sin, the weight, the cost, and it killed me. It killed me instead of you. That's what I wanted, and I did it because I love you. I laid down my life. I knew I could take it back. I'm alive. I am Jesus. In a world full of shortcuts, I am the way. In a world full of lies, I am the truth. And in a world full of death, I am the life. I died and came back to life so that I could give you a clean slate. If you believe that I did that for you, my life is yours. Will you take it?
Marilyn Faye Oleary is our very special guest today. We've had 2 terrific segments, and lucky you, you get her for another one.
Hallelujah. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah. Let's talk
pleasure.
a little bit about, first of all, this thing, which is a lovely, lovely statue. Tell us about it.
Well, this all came about we were in Baltimore, my husband Ken and I were in Baltimore for, oh my goodness, a long time, 15 years, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And so with this, I had just arrived here in Las Vegas, and this little lady knocked on my door. She said, "Hi, I live in Sun City, Aliante." So,
oh, okay, yeah.
So it's community, you know.
Yeah, it's very
so she
beautiful.
knocks on the, Thank you. She knocks on the door and she says, "I want you to be in the Miss Senior Nevada pageant." And I said, "Well, let me think about that." Well, it didn't take very long.
Did you know her?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Nope.
She just saw you. That's nice.
So, so I said, "Okay, well, I'll get back to you." So
right.
as things evolved, they had. I went to see the pageant to see what it was about, and I thought, yeah, this is wonderful. Yeah, it's a pageant for seniors. Your minimum age is 55, and I'm 72, but at the time I was 62. So
okay.
I thought, well, why not? So
that's great.
Yeah, so I signed up, and we started rehearsals, and I think there were probably 15 competitors.
Okay.
And so I decided, well, maybe I'll just do something. At the time, Andre Bocelli was doing the Liviamo. He was singing a spaghetti commercial, and I thought, that'll get their attention.
Yeah.
And there were about 6 judges, one of which was Lorraine Bono.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I know
from,
Lorraine.
From the restaurant there.
Yeah, bootlegger. Yeah.
And yeah, and so I was excited about that. And there was the anchor at Channel 13 News was one of the others.
Right.
And at any rate, I decided, well, okay, here we go. And so they had interviews. They had a day of interviews, and so I
where the judges ask you a bunch of questions.
Yes.
Not in front of an audience.
No.
This
This was a private interview.
Okay.
And I thought, well, okay, so that went well. It went well.
Yeah.
And they seemed to like me. One of them, Lou, was one of our judges, and I can't think of his last name right now. Lou, forgive me, Lou, if you watch this. But anyway, he's a sweetheart. And he looked up and he winked at me. I went, okay. And so the next thing you know, the interview was over, and with that, I thought, well, Who knows? But the day of the actual pageant was so exciting. We stayed at the South Point, and we danced and sang at the beginning. All these
As a
ladies.
group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cute. It was really nice. And then we
It
came
wasn't
out.
at the level of the Gold Diggers.
Well,
I'll bet.
no, but it was really well put together. I
Oh,
must
okay.
say, we were told you walk this way and you walk that way. We had to
Sure.
walk in shower gowns, and model.
Right.
And then when it came to the talent,
Right.
I sang the Liviamo, which is the drinking song from La Traviata.
Right.
So I went into a studio previously, and I asked the engineer, I said, "Can you read music?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "You're hired." So I opened the score, and I said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to take the soprano off. We're going to leave the chorus in and the tenor."
Okay.
And so what it was, I sang a duet with a ghost, so to speak,
Right, right.
with a tenor voice, and then the chorus was behind me. And
And you sang
I went across.
soprano.
Yes, the
Yes.
lyric soprano, and I kind of waltzed across the stage, clapping, getting everyone to clap with me, and they seemed to love it, and it went really, really well.
Oh, good.
And so but I still didn't know, I didn't think anything about, was I going to win? That wasn't the first thing in my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And so as the time went on, there was a beautiful black lady that got up and she sang Billie Jean. She did the part of Michael Jackson, and
Jackson's
everybody
song.
went wild. And
I
I
love
thought,
that one.
oh, well.
I'm going to lose.
I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose to her, yeah. And I mentioned that as I was going off stage, and the lady standing there, one of the stagehands, she says, don't worry about that. That's not, I think you're in for a big surprise. I was
Yeah.
like, what? So at the very end, we're all standing there, and sure enough, they called my name.
Wow.
I won the crown and the talent.
Wow.
So I should have
really?
brought the other one. I have another
Really?
one.
It's a
about
beautiful
this tall,
trophy.
and it's for the talent.
Oh,
So,
okay. Do you still have the crown?
yes,
Oh.
I sure do.
Next time you come on, you got to bring it.
Oh, okay. I have the banner too.
Oh, you do?
I
Oh,
thought about
good.
it. I didn't want to overkill. I didn't want to.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We'll have you on again for sure.
I'd love
That's a
it.
good reason to do that.
Okey-doke.
Let's talk about the present and the future. Are you able to exercise your pipes now? Are you singing?
Oh, yeah.
places?
I'm still singing.
Tell us
yes.
what you're doing.
Well, I'm working with Larry Wayne Morbid. Do you know Larry?
Larry's been on the show, and we're
I
the best
thought-
of friends.
Isn't he a doll, baby?
Yeah, he sure is.
He's my coach.
Boy, oh yeah.
Yeah, and he is
He
my
can sing.
inspiration.
He can
as
sing a little
well.
bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was with the Gaither group,
Yes.
which I love their music.
Yes,
Oh, my mother
yeah.
used to play Gaither music all the
Oh,
time, and I
yeah.
was like, that's really interesting. I like that too,
Yeah, and he can
Now
hit-
I'm in love with
Hit
it.
that high C like nobody's business.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what a range he has, and
Oh, yeah.
and the emotion that he sings with, and all of this for me is just more. It's just more of enhancing my gift.
Yeah, that's
More
great.
enhancement.
Well, you hooked up with the right guy.
I know I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I know I did.
You know, he's teaching middle school kids now.
Is he really?
Yeah, isn't that great?
It is.
You know,
It's
he's
wonderful.
such a pro, and he's on Broadway 17 years
In Phantom.
in Phantom of the Opera in a lead role.
Yeah.
And the Christian school, he's a strong Christian guy.
Oh, yeah.
The Christian school here, Lake Mead Academy, came to him and said, you know, we've lost our, I don't know what the situation was, but they lost their music teacher.
Aw,
And he said, I'll take it for a year.
how wonderful.
Yeah, and he's having his concert, his middle school concert, this week.
How wonderful.
Yeah,
I
I
need
think
to
it's
call him.
Thursday or Friday.
I need to call him
Yeah, give him a
back.
call and show up. I was
I
going to
will.
go because our friend Susan Stafford.
Susan's
Do
good
you know
friend.
Susan?
Very
Yeah.
well. Very
Yeah.
well. Mm-hmm.
We were all going to go as a group, but I have to go out of town, so I'm going to miss it.
Oh.
But I'm hoping that they tape it all.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
They will.
But Larry,
Oh, I
yeah, what a
will.
good coach
I'll record it.
you
He's
picked.
marvelous. Oh,
Yeah.
he has, the way he sings is just magical. And it absolutely brings just, it brings the ceiling down. He's just,
Oh, yeah.
so inspiring and uplifting. People respond to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
And so, for me, that's just more enhancement. The
Yeah.
more I can learn about this, the
Oh,
better.
yeah. Did I see in your bio, Seth Riggs taught you for a while? I knew Seth.
Oh,
yeah.
he's almost married, Seth.
Did you really? What a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
He's in the Media Fellowship International group with me.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Ken and I went down and spent a week with him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great guy.
Well, he married my girlfriend, Kathy Brown. They had 6 children together.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I told him, I said, Seth, no, I want a career. Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, he was a great teacher.
He was
Speaking of Michael
wonderful.
Jackson, he was his coach.
Absolutely.
He had a lot of really good people.
Well, he did the Thriller album with Michael.
Oh, is that right? Oh, wow.
He did very well with that.
Most selling album ever, I think. Yeah.
He made big bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told me a great story. I won't mention who, but he was asked to be one of the judges on the first panel of American Idol.
I
They wanted him to
remember
come
that.
and be a judge.
Yeah, and he was doing
And then
some
he said,
judging.
"Who else is on the panel?" And they told him, and he said, "No." I'll let you guess who that was.
I can well imagine.
Yeah, but he just didn't want, he didn't want the reality TV aspect of that.
Oh,
He just,
yes. Oh, yeah.
And the other thing he said was, and you can tell us whether or not this was, really an accurate statement, but he said, no matter what their level of talent is, I want to encourage them.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a sweet guy.
Wonderful.
And he said that show was not about encouraging most of the contestants. They said some pretty awful things
I know they
about him,
did.
and he didn't want to be part of that. So
Good
I was
for
sorry
him.
he wasn't
Good
on
for him.
TV
Yeah,
to
well,
watch him, but, at the same time.
But he has really made a name for himself, not
Yeah.
only in the United States,
Yeah.
but in Europe as well.
Yeah.
And he married a
think he-
Swedish lady.
Oh, yeah. I think he's in Europe now.
No,
I
he's
understand.
back.
Oh, is
He's
he back
back.
in L.A.? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
I'll
have a
to
baby
say
girl.
Hi to him.
He's what? Seth, how old are you now? 90? Don't get mad at me. 90, 91, something
He
like
had a
that.
little baby girl.
They have a baby girl.
He's a Tony Randall. It's funny.
Yeah. I said,
Well,
Seth,
you're a
honestly.
better man than I, Seth. Wow.
Yeah, 6 with Kathy,
Wow.
and then 1 so far with this lady, and she also teaches.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was in the days with him in the days of in Hollywood Hills.
Oh, yeah.
I rented a room from him,
Yeah.
and then I moved across the driveway to this other place that was renting a room.
Yeah.
And it was Tom McKinney that got me, that I met in the Houston Opera Company.
Oh,
That
okay.
we were doing, I forget what, Carmen or something, I don't know. And we were talking, and he said, "You really want to learn to sing?" I said, "I do."
Yeah.
He said, "Come with me, Seth Riggs, Hollywood."
You went
I
to
said,
the right guy.
I'm all about it.
You went to the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another soprano who's a good friend of mine, and she used to work with me at the ministry here.
Oh, okay.
But she went back to Cleveland. Anyway, her name is Betsy Ann Fiore. And also,
I know Betsy.
You know
I
Betsy Ann?
I
Oh,
sure
great
do.
lady. Yeah.
I didn't know she'd gone back.
Yeah. Well, she's not. I don't think they're permanently. Her mom has been ill, so she's gone back there to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she can sing too, boy.
Oh, yeah.
And she had Seth as a teacher for a
She
while.
did.
Yes.
She didn't tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That is, she was working with Joey Spinella. Now, I was working with Joey.
Oh, is that right?
I worked with him for 4 years, and then he died last July.
Oh,
Passed
okay.
away.
Explain to people who don't understand singing and the rigors of it and the athleticism of it.
Truly.
As to why you need training when you're obviously at the top of your game, and why do you exercise it constantly, your instrument? Why do you have to do that?
Well, primarily because I shouldn't use the word muscle, but it is. All of the tendons and the muscles in this area, including the tongue, come into play.
Yeah.
And it's something that you have to continually work on. It's like
Yeah.
weightlifters. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's the same concept.
Yeah.
And the breathing factor, you have to be very secure with your breath control, because those who aren't are going to develop vocal nodules, and that's it. It's over.
You're done.
Over and done with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what happened to Julie Andrews.
I was going to ask you if that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that you have to you just have to do it every not every day, but maybe every other day.
Yes.
It's like I play the organ, but I play that every day.
Sure.
Because
sure.
that's muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really and it's hard work, isn't it?
Well, yeah, yeah, it is.
You know?
It's very. I usually get on a trampoline and warm up my
Really?
body before I sing.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it gets the respiratory system up and going, and and then you have to learn to relax everything. But then at the same time, you have to learn how to keep that breath coming up. It's like this, you know. It really is. It's like
doing two things at once.
Yeah, but you
yeah.
know what? The bottom line is it's a gift.
Yeah, let's talk about that for just a minute. Do you believe that God gave you that gift?
Absolutely.
And do you feel closer to Him when you're singing?
I do.
Do you?
I do. I mean, there are some things that I can't get through without tearing up, and then I have to stop singing.
Isn't that great, though?
But when I will say, when I sing the Lord's Prayer, I've gotten more feedback on how people were touched, even as well as the Malot's Lord's Prayer. But the God Bless America.
Oh, yeah.
The version that was recorded by Celine and written by David Foster.
Oh, yeah.
There's another person who's been touched by God.
Oh, really?
This man can write music, and he's another Seth Riggs. He just had a baby boy.
Oh, is that right?
With
That's
Catherine
great.
McPhee.
That's great. There must be something in the water in L.A.
He's 71.
Oh, my gosh.
She's 36, and he's 71.
Well,
I'm like,
good for him.
wow.
We're proud of him.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yes, when I sing, I get a lot of feedback from people that how they were touched and how moved they were.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the Lord speaking through me. That's a gift from God. It all started when I was about 4 years old.
Wow. And what a great blessing.
Yeah.
And what a blessing you've been to us today.
Thank you.
Will you please come back?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Be
Marilyn
great.
Faye Oleary. What a great guest.
God bless
Thank you, dear.
You bet.
She was a terrific guest, wasn't she? We're really pleased. What's your website?
Well, I don't have one yet, but they can
Okay.
go to you can send me emails, send them to Marilyn926@gmail.com.
There you go.
I'd be glad to answer any questions you have, any concerns, any curiosities.
Okay.
Send it
Well,
on.
Well, thank you again so much for being on the show.
It's an honor and a pleasure. You're amazing.
Oh, she's amazing. What a great guest. As I try to remember to say each and every show, when it comes to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, please walk with Him. God bless you.
Come on and shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with your host, Dale Davidson. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of our show. We so appreciate your loyalty to our program. To keep Las Vegas Tonight on the air, please go to our website, vegassaints.org, and click the Donate button. To send a check or money order, please make it out to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries and mail it to 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To suggest a guest to appear on the show or any other suggestions or questions, write to Dale at dalewdavidson@yahoo.com or call him at 702-480-3989.
Shine, Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
It's a tough market. We get it. Home inventory is at an all-time low. It's a seller's market, and cash buyers have the advantage. Recently, cash buyers made up more than a quarter of all home purchases. But we have the solution. New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program allows your buyers to compete with all cash offers by becoming cash buyers themselves. Here's how it works. Buyer Accepted LLC, an affiliated company of New American Funding, will purchase your buyer's new home with cash and sell it back to them for the original purchase price, plus a fee that can be added to the purchase of the home once they secure mortgage financing with New American Funding. The best part is that they don't need to sell their current home first. This is a true cash offer. Clients who use our Buyer Accepted program can secure financing using a conventional loan and even VA. Plus, there are no fees for agents and no sacrificing commissions. Buyer Accepted even offers a free 1-hour certification course that will make you the expert. You want to close more deals and help more clients? New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program is the answer.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause, because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.